Well, this is just fantastic. This is going to be 4 rooms of hospice right here at St. Joe's, and this is Go Island. What an amazing project. 40 years in the making. Audrey Craig, we're going to have an interview with her later, and she's going to fill us in on the background. And the big fundraiser that is underway to help with the operating costs of the Hospice Society here in the Comox Valley. We also have interviews with Dr. Musburger, who's going to talk about the patient impact, as well as Counsellor Ruth Berry, who's going to share with us how the whole family is cared for through the Hospice Society. So all of that coming up in today's show, so don't go away, but first, this. Some of the care and attention that's going into the building of this building is truly fantastic. So congratulations to Nappet Construction for working so closely with the Society and St. Joe's to make this dream come true. This area is going to be the family area for families who are coming to visit their loved ones that will be here in one of the hospice rooms. Coming up now, this, but right after, an interview with Dr. Musburger. This is the view from one of the new hospice bedrooms here, and joining me now is Dr. Musburger. Now, Dr. Musburger, how important is it for there to be actual hospital hospice rooms available to patients?
If we look at the needs of a patient or of people in general throughout the lifetime, then the hospital care-based hospice is just an added service, and not having had it in the past was just something that was missing. So it's part of the integral care of our population.
Now, do you feel as a family doctor that it's going to be 4 beds to start with, correct?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What should it be?
You know what, I know that I'm not involved in the numbers and not involved in how they get established. I'm happy that there is 4 to start with.
Okay.
I am convinced there will be more coming. We don't really have a say in it. As physicians, I'm a frontline worker. I'm very happy to have the service coming, and that's really what I'm excited about.
And to have rooms like this that are quite spacious and beautiful view, what sort of a role do you think that's going to play in the end-of-life care for the patients that are fortunate enough to be here?
I think it's important because we are trying to offer these patients something that they can't get elsewhere.
Okay.
We know that for anybody and everything, there is an influence of the environment, and having a nice, comfortable, good setting is an integral part of the care that somebody receives, and especially in those last days, hours.
And how long has it taken to get to this point? How long has this project been sort of in the planning stages?
For ages, I understand around 10 years, but many, many years.
Okay, all right. And as a physician, what is it that, what's the benefit of having this available to your patients?
There are different needs for people with diseases, and as we go through the stages of illness and disease and eventually dying, the level of care for patients changes and varies, and for those who go through a longer period of suffering, sometimes the cares or the needs can't properly be met at home, even if hospice care is already involved. And then having a hospital setting, hospital beds available, just gives us an extra tool, if you so wish, to provide all the care that we know in theory that we now can deliver in practice actually.
Okay, all right, great. Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate a little bit of the insight into how important these hospice beds will be. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back. I'm Mary Ruth Harris. We are on site today at the new hospice build, and joining me is a counselor from the Hospice Society, Ruth Berry. Now, Ruth, in the counseling with the patient, how important is it to have a space like this where you can be inclusive of not just the patient but the family as well?
It's incredibly important. I'm really excited that we're doing this. Finally, in the Valley, I work with the families, not just the palliative person. It's the spouse, if they're involved. It's the children. It's uncles, aunts, friends, anybody that needs support. And if they're here, then we have everybody, hopefully in the same sort of space. We can talk to everybody who needs that support.
Now, that would be when the person is here. And what about after the person passes on? Is there still support in place for the family members after the fact with hospice?
Very much so.
Okay.
A large part of our work is that, both working with people before somebody dies, during a person's death, and certainly for follow-up afterwards, a year to 18 months or even longer afterwards, if people need that, one-to-one counselling. We also run groups, group support. We have a bereavement support talking group, which runs it's a closed group, runs for 8 weeks usually.
Okay.
Yeah, and many more.
So you've got a lot of programs that are available for family members to just come and participate in. So it's not necessarily in the room with the patient, it's outside of that where they can seek their own solace.
Yes, because sometimes it's important to have one-to-one conversations with somebody who's not directly involved with the person who's dying, so they can come and sometimes we like to have a complaint session. This is really difficult, we can't cope with this, and they don't necessarily want to be doing that in front of the person or their loved one who is dying. So that's very important.
Right. Now, what would be the process for the actual rooms? Like, how will you, as a counselor or the doctors, how do they decide who gets to come into one of the 4 rooms?
There is a committee at the moment that's working on the criteria that are going to be implemented for this.
Okay.
I'm not involved in that part of it at the moment, but it's
there's
quite
a
technical.
committee that handles that?
Yes,
okay,
they are deciding on that. It's a collaborative arrangement.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. And do you know what the finishing date expected is for the project?
I think it's June, July.
Okay, great.
So
we'll be here for the grand opening.
Yes, the sooner the better.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time today and explaining the importance of the rooms for the whole family and not just for the patient.
Yes,
so
yes.
That's excellent. All right, thanks so much, Ruth. We're going to have a look at this, but we'll be right back. Go Island is on location today at the brand new build for hospice here at St. Joseph's Hospital. Joining me is Audrey Craig. She is the president of the Hospice Society. Audrey, how excited are you that this is finally happening?
There really aren't enough words to explain how excited our society and indeed the entire community of the Comox Valley is for the opening and the build out of our brand new hospice site. It's been 40 years in the making, and we are beyond excited.
Now, what's the key for the funding for this?
The key for the funding has been the Comox Valley. This is an extremely generous community, and without the help and support of such things as all 4 local Rotary clubs, the Anglican Women's Association, some various bequests, and on and on and on, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Now, you do have a really fun fundraiser that you're working on, so let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes, we do. We have what it's called is the Ultimate 50-50 Draw, and it's your opportunity to win up to $25,000 in cash.
Wow.
And our draw is on May 9th. So these are being sold in various places downtown, in the malls over the next little while, or contact any member of the Hospice Society to get your ticket.
Now, what are you hoping that this will raise for the actual Hospice Society?
One of the challenges in fundraising for organizations such as ourselves is not necessarily building for bricks and mortars, but operating funds. And this will go entirely to operating funds so that we can keep the good works of hospice going.
Okay. Now, you have the 4 rooms here in the new building.
Right.
But do you also provide some in-home support for those that would prefer that?
We do. I mean, not very many people will actually have the availability to die in a hospice site. We still have a lot of people dying at home, and we provide services for all of those people.
Okay, and this is all part of the operating
That's right.
fund that you really need some help with?
That's right.
Okay.
That and ongoing education.
Right. Now, the ongoing education, what does that look like? Is that really just helping people understand the importance of hospice and the role that hospice plays?
That's right. It's a lot of people have misconceptions about hospice, and a lot of families, it's not just the person dying or the immediate caregiver, it's the entire family. It's
Okay.
the unit that needs our help, and that's the services we provide.
Okay. Well, Audrey, thank you so much for coming in and giving us this information today. This is really great. So get your tickets. Get out there and get your tickets. The ultimate 50/50. And you can go online too, by the looks of it, .com. It's got all the information
All
there.
the information online.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much, Audrey.
Thank
We're
you.
going to take a short break. We'll be right back. I'm Mary Ruth Harris. You've been watching Go Island. We've been on site today at the new hospice build-out just behind the views at St. Joseph's Hospital, and they are aiming for late June, early July completion. This is going to be the main entrance area, and there'll be gardens, and there'll be a walkway and a little bit of parking, and there'll be 4 hospice beds here for family and patient care. Now, coming up, this story, but stay right where you are. We'll be right back. Go Island has been on location today at the new hospice site here behind the views at St. Joseph Hospital. Now, this is going to be a wonderful building there'll be 4 hospice beds with palliative care, and there is even a space for family members to come and just be just the family, or they can go into the actual room to be with the patient. And then this whole area is an outside deck. And these doors are big enough that they can actually wheel the beds right outside, so the patient can have some fresh air and take in the amazing view of the marina and the harbor and Comox. It's just beautiful. So congratulations to everybody involved in this. Now, fundraising, very, very crucial. Get your tickets as soon as you can. Don't miss out on the ultimate 50/50. They are being sold pretty much everywhere, so when you see them out there selling, get your ticket, because the draw is the beginning of May, and you don't want to miss out on that. So thanks so much for watching today. Have a great couple of days, and we'll see you soon.